To help you with your homework, we're going to go through some of these examples and walk through how we would use the unit circle to complete these problems. If you've already done these, that's great. You can use this to check your answers on some of your problems. So let's get out our completed unit circle. So we're going to use this complete unit circle to help us answer each of these questions. So for the first one, what we know, what's given to us, is this radian measure of 3 pi over 4. So we're going to find that on our unit circle. 3 pi over 4, so that's right here. And then it asks us to fill in the rest of this chart. So we can see that our degree measurement for 3 pi over 4 is 135 degrees. So it's going to go right here, 135 degrees. It also asks us for our quadrant. Quadrants go in counterclockwise order, so we have quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. This one is in quadrant 2. And then it asks us for our sine, cosine, and tangent. And so if you remember from our notes, sine is y, cosine is x, and tangent is y over x. So let's look at our 3 pi over 4. Our sine is our y value. This is our y value. And if you don't remember that, make sure to write it down. Cosine, comma, sine. Okay. And so that means that our sine for 3 pi over 4 is root 2 over 2. Our cosine is going to be our x value. This is our x value, so this is going to be our cosine. So it's going to be negative root 2 over 2. So now we have sine and cosine. We just need to find tangent, which is y over x. So we're going to divide root 2 over 2 divided by negative root 2 over 2. That's something over its negative self. That's going to give us negative 1. So that's how we fill out that chart. Let's do one more. Let's do this. Let's do this one. So this one gives us our degree of 240. So we're going to go back to our unit circle. Let's zoom out. So we're looking for 240 degrees. That's down here. So this is the information we're going to use for 240. So the first thing I asked for is quadrant. 240 degrees is in quadrant 3. Next it asks for our radian measure, which is right here. So we're just pulling information off this chart. This is 4 pi over 3. The next one is sine, which is our y. So for 4 pi over 3, we're looking for our y, so it's negative root 3 over 2. Next it asks us for cosine, which is our x, so it's negative 1/2. The last one it asks for is tangent, which is y over x, or sine over cosine. Y is negative root 3 over 2 divided by x, which is negative 1 over 2. Instead of dividing, we multiply by the reciprocal, so we're going to flip negative 2 over 1. Those 2's are going to cancel, and the negatives are going to cancel, and so we just get root 3. And so we're just going to continue to fill this chart out by pulling information directly from our unit circle. We'll do one more. Let's do one of these ones that has a slash through it. We'll do, let's say this guy, this last one, pi over 2. So again, we're going to go to our unit circle. We're going to find pi over 2. That's right here. And so you might notice now why this doesn't have a quadrant. It's not on a quadrant. This is on the y-axis. You could write that if you wanted to. This is on the y-axis. And this is at 90 degrees. Next thing it asks us for are sine, cosine, and then tangent. Remember, cosine is our x, sine is our y. So that means the sine is 1, and our cosine is 0. Next, we're looking for tangent, which is y over x, or sine over cosine. Our y is 1, our cosine is 0. Here we're dividing by 0. This does not exist. And so your job is just to fill out the rest of the sheet using that same idea.